This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Enjoy the action and excitement of NCAA Division II athletics at Augustana.
Augustana Sports Flashback is brought to you by Schoenemann's. Last weekend, Coach Tom Billiter's 16th ranked Augustana men's basketball team picked up a pair of NSIC road wins at the University of Mary and at Northern State. The Vikings, now 7-1 overall and 4-0 in the NSIC, bounced Mary 58-45 and defeated Northern 76-68. In the Mary victory, Augustana got out to a 30-17 halftime lead before securing the win in the second half. Dre Murray led the Vikings with 19 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Cameron McCaffrey added 15 points as he topped the 1,000 mark in career points at Augustana. The Vikings shot 46% from the floor and 86% from the free throw line. Then on Saturday night, Augustana never trailed as they hit 10 three-pointers to get past Northern State in Aberdeen. After pushing out to a 36-30 halftime lead, the Vikings held off some Wolves runs in the second half to pick up their 5th straight win. Cameron McCaffrey led the offensive attack with 20 points, with Cody Schilling adding 14, Yuri Malashenko 12, and Dre Murray 11. Schilling also grabbed 6 rebounds and dished out 5 assists. Malashenko also snared 6 boards and nailed 4 three-pointers. Augustana shot 43% from the field and 67% from the foul line as they picked up their 7th consecutive victory over the Wolves. In women's basketball, Coach Dave Krause' team split a pair of road games. The Vikings rolled over the University of Mary 93-65 before falling to Northern State 61-53. In the Mary win, the Augustana ladies shot out to a 47-27 halftime lead and continued to blitz the Marauders in the second half to pick up their 6th straight victory. Alex Feeney and Faith Tinklenberg both had double-doubles. Alex scored 14 points and pulled down 10 rebounds. She also led the team with 6 assists. Faith notched 13 points and grabbed 12 boards. Shantiva Ashley was the points leader with 16, with Molly Hayes tacking on 15 and Lydia Nelson 12. The Vikings out-rebounded Mary 50-35. Then on Saturday night at Northern State, the team started fast as they led 18-1 and then 32-26 at halftime. But cold shooting in the second half doomed Augustana as their record fell to 6-2 overall and 3-1 in the NSIC. Faith Tinklenberg paced the Vikings with 15 points, with Molly Hayes scoring 13. And in wrestling, Coach Jason Reitmeyer's 6th-ranked team picked up a pair of victories as they dominated Dakota Wesleyan 40-0 and Northwestern of Iowa 43-4 in a triangular held at the Elman Center. Winning twice for the Vikings were T.J. North at 125 pounds, Jason Jeremiahson at 141, Nate Herda at 149, Marcus Edgington at 157, Tom Davies at 165, Carl Sirk at 184, Jeff Nielsen at 197, and Michael Roberts at 285. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana men's basketball with Coach Tom Billiter. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition. By Schoenemann's, your trusted building center since 1888. And by Mid-Continent Communications, part of your community.
More people are leaving BMW, Mercedes, and Lexus for Audi than ever before. For exceptional values on the Audi A4, visit your local dealer today.
How do you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Chad Greenway of the Minnesota Vikings. I'm a big fan of how youth sports can help kids stay physically fit. But as an athlete and a parent, I'm also very concerned about safety. Millions of sports-related concussions happen every year, and many go unrecognized. That's alarming because the wrong treatment can slow recovery, worsen the condition, or lead to permanent damage. Please learn the facts about concussions and help protect our young athletes.
To learn more, visit sanfordhealth.org/heads-up.
The Augustana Men's Basketball Report is brought to you by Sanford Health.
Joining me now is Augustana men's basketball coach Tom Billiter. Well, Tom, last weekend the Vikings took the long road trip up to Bismarck and on to Northern, playing Mary and the Wolves. And wow, what a super weekend for the Vikings! A win on both floors.
Well, that hadn't happened, as we always have kind of made light of in a weird way. But Mary's had our number. It's our second win up there in the last 6 or 7 years. So played well, and what a great time to go take that trip. The weather was perfect. We didn't have the elements to contend with, so what can sometimes be a 4-hour trip from Mary to Aberdeen that night, pull in about 3 in the morning, was only about a 3.5-hour trip. So I'm being honest, we got in about 2 o'clock in the morning, and now looking back on it, we were pretty fortunate because we just had great weather, full moon, and we were able to get there as fast as possible. But kids played hard, and it was a good game. Yeah,
let's go back to the Mary game. Talk about that one.
Well, Mary's, they lost a lot of seniors, and so they're a little bit in transition. Brought in some very talented transfer guards, Turner and Robinson. But I did think that, the one thing that was different than a year ago, obviously, was Anthony Moody. I mean, he could just break down anybody's defense. He was playing 40 minutes a game, and he was always our arch nemesis. He just had our number. And so I thought our guys came out ready to play. We had a nice 13-point lead at halftime. We had extended it to 20-21, kind of controlled the whole game, never trailed. Anytime you go on the road for 2 games and never trailed a second, you're playing pretty good basketball. So, it was just a solid game. I didn't think anybody was stellar. I thought, different guys contributed at different times, but obviously our perimeter game was pretty strong and the bench was solid.
Yeah, super win, 58-45, and then, as we mentioned, the long trek down to Aberdeen. And a hard-fought game, Tom. Vikings came out on top, 76-68.
And, you got to remember, A, playing in front of their crowd, which is very nice. B, that's a team that beat Butler. They were feeling pretty good about themselves. They only had 1 loss going into that game. They had beaten Wayne by about 16 the night before, so they could rest some of their guys. And so going into it, you knew it was going to be a heck of a battle, and that's exactly what it was. It was just a game that we did lead the entire game. Went in at halftime up 6, and to be honest, girl, I thought we should have been up 15. Credit them. It was 10 points with under a minute to go, and they cut it down to 6. We could have extended it to 14. And we were tired mentally, just fatigued, and that's to be expected. And so, halftime was really much more about what we have to do as men to reach down and just understand every game's. And, it was very little X's and O's other than a few adjustments on a great, player in Pryor. He and Tutzloff are just fantastic inside, but really was happy how our guys came out and competed.
Yeah, it was a super victory, and there were a lot of stars, of course. Cameron McCaffrey getting 20 points to lead us, and Cody and Dre and the regular guys. But one guy that really stepped up for you was Yuri Malyshenko. Yeah. He hit 4 threes, and he got 6 rebounds.
Yeah, and he's such a great kid, and he works so hard, so it was good to see him have success. We had a couple, Yuri obviously, Alex Richter, hit a couple key buckets and played hard for us, and even little things that you don't see with David Fritsch just making hustle plays. But Bill, I got to tell you something about that game that I thought was really interesting. Teams are so focused on Cody. I mean, that guy is being guarded every game, every second, being crowded, being held, being, everything. And that's just opening up great things for Dre and Cam. And I'm telling you what, they're taking advantage of it. And it's hard to put all that emphasis on one when those other 2 are so good. Yet when we needed a bucket, they cut it to 2. Got Cody a ball where he could score no matter what, no matter who was guarding him. He hit 2 in a row. And down the stretch, 4 straight free throws. So he still was able to still do what we had to do to secure a win. But again, just a super team effort.
Well, the maturity of Cody too. Now that they're taking some things away, he's assisting to other guys. He's playing great defense. So I think that maturity is coming forward here in his senior year.
Yep.
Also, Tom, it's back into the NSIC this coming weekend. We're back home. 2 tough games. Minnesota Crookston on Saturday, who took Moorhead to 3 points at Moorhead. Moorhead's undefeated coming in here Saturday. fans, these are going to be two great games.
Well, the funny thing is, and Dave might have alluded to it, I don't know, but it's finals, and you know that. We have finals on Saturday, you know, and so our kids have a lot on their plate right now, and so we're going to try to give them some extra time off this week and, you know, really get them focused academically, and hopefully the stuff we've been working on since day one will come through on this weekend, because we won't do a ton of prep. You know, you defend every screen a certain way, no matter what you see on the floor. We've gone over it. There should be no surprises out there, and you go back to your basketball, you know, instincts and what you've been taught, and just have to go out and play versus really preparing due to the fact that I need my guys focused on their grades, you know, and you know, this is a trying week, as we all remember. You know, finals weren't easy, and our guys need to be able to do both.
Yeah, well, it is a big week. Fans, the Vikings play Minnesota Crookston, 6 o'clock Saturday, Minnesota State Moorhead, 6 o'clock Sunday. Augie is 4-0 in the NSIC, 7-1 overall. Great basketball team, Coach. Fun to watch. So.
Well, I hope we keep being fun to watch.
Yeah,
hope it
so
keeps
come
going
on over to
way.
the Elman Center for great college basketball. Good luck, Tom.
Thanks, Bill.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report with Coach Dave Krauth is next.
My owie was a tumor and it hurts in my head and it's right here. I have 3 favorite colors, red, pink, and purple. I like to draw fairies, princesses, and clothes. I want to be, when I grow up, a clothes modeler. It models clothes. This is my victory.
Why do you play? Why go through all the pain? The endless practices? For the victories? For the joy of playing the game? Or do you play for something even greater? If you already know the answer, we're the network for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
The Augustana Women's Basketball Report is brought to you by Mid-Continent Communications.
With me now is Augustana women's basketball coach Dave Krauth. Well, Dave, the Vikings hit the road last weekend, took the long road trip up to Bismarck to the University of Mary and then on to Northern. And on Friday night up at Mary, it was a very nice start for the Vikings to the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, our first real road test, and you know, we responded well. You know, it probably was a combination of we played well and Mary didn't, but you know, we just did a lot of things, including making threes that make life pretty easy, and the game just fell into place for us.
Yeah, what do you attribute the success to?
Well, I mean, we shot it well, and in addition, I mean, I just think our energy level is always quite a key for us, and we defended well, and we got good balance. We just got some contributions from almost everybody that played, we went 10 deep, and it was just a good team effort.
Who were the best performances in that game?
Well, it's hard to pick one out. I liked Faith Tinklenberg really over the weekend, but she had a fairly solid game, got to a lot of balls, had a dozen double-double, and probably her play. But, like I said, I mean, our 2 freshman posts, Emily Bowes, Andrea Whitney, Sophie Kinney, a freshman guard, came in and gave us some good minutes, and we were in foul trouble. And then we had, a number of people that were in double figures.
Right. Well, a super win for the Vikings up at Mary, not an easy place to play. And then a long trip between games down to Aberdeen. The Vikings took on Northern. Interesting game, Dave. Started like a house of fire, but they came back and we came up a little short.
Yeah, our MO kind of going into the weekend was slow starts. We just had really struggled getting going, and we got good starts in both nights, and again started well. Realistically, we probably should have been up by 25 points if we'd have made some easy ones early, but it ended up like 16-0 or about that was how far up we got. And then they chipped away, and you could just see the energy turn. We also dealt with a little bit of foul trouble and just weren't as sharp in so many ways, both with an energy but also just mentally sharp. We broke down sometimes and let their shooters just have some threes to help get them in it.
Well, Northern's a good ball club, so we got a split. We're 3-1 in the conference, and got to be feeling good about that. This weekend, back home, and fans starts out with a tough basketball game, and I know those of you out there may have a hard time believing this because we don't seem to give a lot of credit to Minnesota Crookston, but Minnesota Crookston comes in here at 3-1. should be 4-0, and they have an outstanding team, Dave.
Yeah, they were a real solid team last year, probably even in going back a couple years. And they deal with the fact that a number of their programs end up being kind of the cellar dwellers. But their women's team is really a solid team and very tough to guard. And they've gone on the road and won, and it'll just be a tough one, and we'll have our hands full both nights.
Okay, Crookston, what kind of team are they?
Well, they're kind of a balanced team where you get multiple people that will dribble attack you. I mean, even like their 6'3", 4" type players are all attacking you with the dribble and a lot of motion, and they tend to get to the free throw line a lot and just do that. And they play a lot of people and really give you a lot of energy.
Well, the Vikings play Crookston at 4 o'clock on Saturday here at the Elman Center, and then Moorhead at 4 o'clock on Sunday. 2 tough conference games. We were talking before we went on the air, Dave. We're only 2 weeks into the conference season in women's basketball. We're on top of the league. Everybody's been beat at least once at 3-1.
Yeah, I'll sound like a broken record, but the women's side of it is so balanced that there's just going to be weekends that at some point you just can't be surprised by it anymore. But it is, and Moorhead will be one of those teams that really, from a talent standpoint, is right there again. Angie Jedvig is a kid there that, if it isn't for the Arlen kid at Wayne State, she's a Player of the Year candidate in any league.
Yeah, well, 2 great games here on Saturday, 4 o'clock Crookston, Sunday, 4 o'clock Moorhead. Good luck, Dave.
Thanks, Bill.
Up next, Augie Sports Focus. Stay with us.
I was half the person I used to be, literally. I knew that if I didn't have the strength that I'd back in my body, I'd never be able to ride my Harley again, and that was one of my other goals I had, was to be able to get back on the bike. Just being able to get out and experience, the area and the surroundings on the back of a bike is so much different than being in a car. You can smell the smells as you drive through, you can hear the sounds. It's just great. This is my victory.
When I was young, I loved helping my grandfather with projects. From building a birdhouse to odd jobs around the house, we always got our supplies from Schoenemann's. I remember the smell of the fresh cut lumber and all the bins full of nails, nuts, and bolts. Today, my projects are a bit bigger, and so is Schoenemann's selection. I rely on them for everything I need.
Schoenemann's in Sioux Falls and Harrisburg. Expert advice, everything you need.
You can always do it right with Schoenemann's.
Augie Sports Focus is brought to you by Schoenemann's.
Joining me now is Augustana cross-country coach Tracy Hellman. Well, holy cow, Tracy. Let's jump up in the air and celebrate the Augustana Vikings National Championship in women's cross-country. A couple weeks ago in Spokane, Washington, the men finished 6th. It has been one great year for cross-country. Talk about your feelings.
Yeah, we're still on cloud 9. I mean, hearing that national champion is something that it doesn't get old, I can tell you that. And it was a year that I'll never forget in terms of just what we had to go through to have the success we had in both men and the women. So, yeah, it's pretty fun to be in this spot.
Well, let's focus in on the women's race, and we're going to have Kelly Kogel on here a little later to talk about kind of her special part in the race. But the ladies' race, really something.
Yeah, we thought we had a good team going in this year, and I thought we were going to have some success at the national. But as the course of the year, went through, we had some ups and downs, and then we had some things happen that I thought would shake a lot of teams. But we had a lot of kids that stepped up and really kept the motivation and the positive energy, I guess, going. And I think I knew probably 2 weeks before the national, we had a good shot of placing well, but I still didn't think we could win, just because it's just such a hard thing to attain on a national level. And that day was a day that will go down as one of the best ever in history. And we had 5 All-Americans. Mm-hmm. We had the best spread, which the time from the first runner to the fifth runner that any other team. And we finished. I didn't think we had won. I thought still we were second or maybe third, and that would have been pretty exciting. We would have been happy about that. But to hear that, to us win, I was shocked. I didn't have words. And so it was a year I think that we're going to really remember. But yet we only graduate one girl, Kelly. Right. So it's hard to look ahead. But wow, we got a lot of potential in the women for next year too.
Yeah, and we're going to talk, as I mentioned, with Kelly Kogel here in a little bit. But what a story! And we don't want to spoil everything, but just your feelings about Kelly She went through her father's death. She ran. Had to be tremendously emotional for the ladies.
Yeah, it was emotional for them. It was emotional for me. I mean, geez, I really had a tough time getting through that because she was so special to our team, and it was so hard on her, I could see. And I didn't know if she was going to race. I really didn't, and I never pressured her to. We told her that if she didn't make it, we'd be there for her regardless. And to see her show up in the airport with our team and then to race the way she did, it's a storybook ending in some ways. I would never imagine her to do what she did, and it really carried us. It carried our team. And I've told people before, if she doesn't run the way she runs, we don't win. Plain and simple. But yeah, so that was great momentum, and it was something that we're still celebrating.
Yeah, well, the national championship is huge, and we know that. But the men also ran well, sixth place.
It was really tough because here it is, our women win the national title, and then our men equal the best finish ever in our program history in sixth. They were sixth last year, and so we had cause to celebrate them too because it was such a great finish, the best ever for our men. And they were very excited to do that. We had two All-Americans. Paul Yak was 11th, Ryan Evans was 32nd. That was third year in a row we've been in the top 10 of the men, and so the guys were very happy with their finish. They also were super excited about the women winning, but it was a total team effort by both squads.
Well, Tracy, you have a phenomenal program here. Again, congratulations to the men and on the national championship. Also the National Coach of the Year, Women's Coach of the Year. With me now is outstanding Augustana senior women's cross country runner, Kelly Kogel. Kelly, it's great to have you here on Augustana Sportscene. And it's quite a story. The ladies, congratulations, winning the national championship out in Spokane, Washington on November 18th. And quite a story here with Kelly, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But first off, Kelly, you're from Cheyenne, Wyoming. After high school, had to pick a college. Why'd you choose Augustana?
I did. I told my parents I didn't want to go anywhere in the Midwest at all. But I was talking to Tracy, and on my visit, I came up and it was a big visit day, so there's about 8 other track recruits, and we all went out to eat, and I just tell the team was really close together, and we'd be spending a lot of time together. I knew I'd make a ton of great friends up here. So
yeah. Well, we're glad you came, and you saved your best race for last, which we're going to get to here now. Quite a story here with Kelly, and some of you may have seen the story in the Argus Leader or heard about it, but her father, Donald, was stricken with cancer and passed away on November 11th, a week ahead of the Nationals. And Tracy wasn't sure whether Kelly was going to run or not, but she did, and it was a fantastic finish for her. Talk about the emotions of all of that, and then why you decided to run, and what it was like running that race.
Yeah, well, we kind of been talking the whole season, and I talked with my parents about it, throughout the year and before I left in the fall for camp, and I was able to spend quite a bit of time home this summer and go. Tracy was really good about working with me, being able to go home during the season on weekends. So I was able to go home, and we just talked about it and kind of kept everyone on the same page. And I tried to prepare myself, even though you can never really prepare. But so the day after it happened, I went on a long run with one of the girls on the team who stayed with me that night, and we just talked about it, if I could run, if I could even make it through the race. And we made it through the long run, and I just said, I want to do this. We've been training since August, since team camp, and I just knew that the team was going to be there, and I just wanted to get to nationals as soon as possible. And my dad I knew he was so proud of me, and he talked about running so much, and I'd call him every day, and we talked about running and school, and he really just wanted me and my siblings to kind of continue on and do what we were doing and be successful. And I know he would have done anything to be in Spokane with us.
Yeah, well, it's a fantastic story, and he's certainly proud of you today after the race. The race itself, miserable conditions. Talk about what it was like, and what was motivating you to run.
The race was so cold, and I just knew it was our year. Since my freshman year, we'd been talking about getting a trophy. Like, this is our year to get a trophy. This is our year. We hadn't had one, so I decided, this is the year to get one. And before the race, we were just all so motivated, and it was freezing cold, but it was cold for everyone else out there too. And the whole time I was running, I was just thinking about the last thing my dad said to me when I talked to him was, "Congratulations, I'm so proud of you." And I just felt like he was confused that we had already ran, and I knew that he was there with us that day. And So that just kept pushing me. And then when Tracy was screaming his head off, "We can win, we can win," you know, that just it pumped us up and pulled it off.
Well, a fabulous story and a tremendous race. All-American honors for all of the ladies. Congratulations. And I guess, you know, now it's the end of the line for cross country, and you'll be moving on and graduating. So what's your major and what are your future plans?
I'm business marketing, and I'm going to work for a couple years in Sioux Falls, build up my resume, and then I plan to go to grad school for management.
Well, Kelly, it's been great to have you at Augustana. Tremendous finish. Good luck.
Thank you.
The Augustana Sports Spotlight is next. We'll be right back.
Here's to all you crazies. You, the hometown diehards, the fanatics. That's what a fan is, after all. You live or die by what happens on the field, on the court, and in your heart every time your team plays. So, let your freak flag fly. We're here for you. Midco Sportsnet. This is how we do sports.
There's just times that there's a lot of darkness. I would be in church looking at the PowerPoint and just thinking, this could be my funeral, this could be my pictures up there. The day came when I could actually stand in front of our congregational family and I could sing a solo, and that was so huge because I had forgotten how beautiful a song could be in my heart. My word is celebrate.
Cleaning hard water spots takes time and effort. Be sure your water softener is working properly. Your Culligan man can make sure any brand water softener is working by performing a 10-point inspection for only $19.95. That's Culligan. Better water, pure and simple.
Even the highest efficiency dishwasher can't remove spots from your glasses if you have hard water, but a Culligan High Efficiency water softener can. The Culligan High Efficiency saves you up to 46% in operating costs, and it makes your glasses look 100% beautiful.
The Augustana Sports Spotlight is brought to you by Culligan Water Conditioning. The Augustana women's soccer team recorded a winning season with a 10-9 record in the fall of 2011. The Vikings' mark in NSIC play was 7 wins and 6 losses. Augustana outshot their opponents 278 to 263 and scored 1.53 goals per game compared to 1.37 for their opponents. Offensive leaders for the Vikings were Alicia Olerking with 5 goals, while Stacy Daly and Mackenzie Trom added 4 each. Jeffy Huff was the assist leader with 5. On defense, goalkeeper Amanda Wagner played in all 19 games and recorded 88 saves. Team awards went to Kate Timmons, who was named Most Valuable Defensive Player, and Jessie Huff, who was named Offensive MVP. Named to the NSIC All-Conference team were senior defender Kate Timmons, senior midfielder Stacy Daly, junior forward Jessie Huff, and senior defender Stacy Walzak. Coach Barkas has announced the signing of top-level recruits for next year, so the future looks bright for Augustana women's soccer.
You've been watching Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on NCAA Division II athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.